Hey guys, welcome back. So just got back from our family trip from southern Italy. I'm super excited to be back and well rested. As soon as I got back, I found some really interesting things that were happening within the marketplace that I'm going to share with you that really have me reevaluating in how I think about the high-end luxury market. I used to look at the high-end luxury market more as an opportunity to either buy something, build something, force the appreciation, and sell it. I really never looked at it as like buying something and renting it and over the long term selling it. And the reason for that is a high-end luxury property, typically if you were buying it, you were paying a premium and the rents did not cover the carrying costs, so it would run at a negative cash flow. So what I looked at for those type of rental properties was really more around the outskirts of Toronto, areas that were more affordable, and buying single family homes that either would be positive cash flow or even cash flow neutral. However, if you guys remember back in April, the Ontario government implemented a new legislation that actually basically forced foreign buyers to pay a 15% tax, an additional tax. Yes, there was a lot of exemptions. However, I talked about how I thought that would have very little impact on the actual resale market or in the sales market, but I didn't talk about what would potentially happen on the rental side. So let me tell you a quick story. So just basically down the street from me, there was a property that came on the market for $2.4 million. And unfortunately, the seller did not get an offer that was acceptable to him, so he was actually looking at renting it. He ended up renting it for $7,000. That property, literally less than a year ago, would probably rent for at the very most $5,000, but he got $7,000. So it got me thinking, why are people paying $7,000 rent for this house? Why would they not buy it? And what is forcing them to pay $7,000? So then I go back and I now look at that tax that was implemented back in April. So if you had somebody that was coming here on a work visa, that was out of the country, they would have to, if they wanted to buy that house, and let's say it was $2 million for argument's sake, they'd have to pay $300,000 up front in that tax on top of the land transfer. That money would be put aside, and yes, they would get it back if they were exempt. And the only way they would get exempt is that, number one, they would have to have a work visa before or on the day of closing, and they'd have to be here for a full year. So now I want you to think of the perspective and the mindset of that foreign buyer or slash tenant. Are they going to want to fork out over basically $300,000 on something where there's some uncertainty? In the past, it wasn't an issue. They would come in, the Canadian dollar was low, the real estate market was going up, and they were buying it without having to turn around and be penalized that foreign tax. But now they're looking, hey, maybe it's a safer bet for me to pay more and rent. So all of a sudden, more people are renting, there's less inventory, which is driving the prices up. So now, more than ever, if there's somebody that's looking at selling a high-end luxury property, whether it's an investment property or their primary residence, and the market's low, maybe now you have a couple different options. Maybe you don't have to sell. Maybe you can actually rent it out for positive cash flow, and based on the rent that you're getting, you can qualify for another mortgage on another property. So instead of leaving $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 on the table, like I said, maybe consider renting. So if you guys find this content helpful, please hit the subscribe button. Also, we're wanting to put out more content. We'll continue to build out our YouTube channel. But what we're going to do is, for those of you, first of all, that are following us on Instagram, thank you so much. But what we're going to add to Instagram, we're going to start adding additional stories with more content, more condensed versions of it. So if that interests you, please go to Instagram and follow us on the Furtado group. And like I said, hope you guys are enjoying it. Until next time, guys, take care.